Hey, how's it going, guys? It's your boy Jeremy from Randolph Running Club. And today, I want to tell you about how to get started running right after this.
Young fam, play the beat. Young fam got the sauce. Young fam got the sauce. Young fam got the sauce.
So, seeing as this is really my first video here on the channel, introducing myself to you guys, kind of filling you in on why you're even listening to a random guy on the internet talk about running, how to get started running, fill you in on my background a little bit here. So, I ran track and field in high school, begrudgingly. I used to do the 800, 400, triple jump, long jump. I tried the high once, the high jump, and that was pretty bad. But anyway, I did that throughout high school. Also played basketball, a little bit of football, and once that ended, once I graduated, it was just kind of time to take being fit into my own hands. At that point, I had always done whatever my coach had suggested or whatever workout was planned for that. And once, college time kind of hit, it was for me to take it into my own hands to figure out how I was going to work out. And I just naturally gravitated towards running, and it's just something that I've really enjoyed. It's kind of how I deal with my own mental health and just be able to get a fresh perspective on my life and everything that I'm doing. I really want to share that with you guys. So thank you so much for joining me here today, and I hope that you like the content that you see, and hopefully you want to subscribe so you can hit that button right below. And with no further ado, I guess let's talk about how to get started running. Let's just have a conversation. So I kind of broke this down into 5 steps on how to get started. And the first one would be, why do you want to get started running? So have you tried running before? You hated it? Do you just want to lose weight? Do you see everybody else doing it? It's quarantine. Everybody is social distancing right now. And you just say, hey, it's time for me to get that beach body ready for whenever the hell this all ends, right? So my advice is, I have kind of a quote here that I always like, which is, if you respect the game will respect you. And what do I mean by that, right? If you're a person and you just want to work out, you just want to find a way to lose weight, and maybe you tried running and you said, I hate that. There's nothing more that I cannot stand than going outside, putting one foot in front of the other and running, then my advice would be, don't run, There's something else that you can do. Maybe you want to be into cycling or just pure cardio in other forms, or lifting weights, or whatever else it is. But if you don't enjoy this, that's a surefire way to get injured. And I personally think that if you can avoid injury, life is always better, of course, right? Who wouldn't agree with that? But what I will say is, definitely just try to think outside the box. If you really don't like the idea of running, then there's so many other things. Maybe you can go swim. But yeah, I found it to be a really great thing. So if you're past this step and you decided you really do want to run because you feel like it's, whatever the most effective way for you to work out, or you just enjoy being outside and you've always thought, hey, this is something that I'd like to do, then let's go on to step 2. So my second step is really to compete with yourself. Don't compete with other people. And what do I mean by that, right? Running is one of the only sports where you're really competing with yourself. So let's say you go out and you run a 5K and your 5K is in 30 minutes, or you run a half marathon in 2 hours, or whatever it is, right? From a person who is the most elite athlete all the way to a person who's just starting, getting off the couch or something, you're really competing with your own personal best, right? So we, as runners, will say things like your personal record, your PR, your personal best, your PB are terms that you might hear a lot. And basically that is your personal highest achievement that you've had in whatever event that might be. So whether that's the fastest mile time you ever run, the fastest ultra marathon time, which is 50 miles that you ever run, those that you're competing with yourself. So I guess my advice would be here, when you start off, don't try to be Eliud Kipchoge. Don't try to be Usain Bolt. You know, there are levels to this, and everything takes time. You know, you will be very surprised once you start, and maybe you get that solid 3 days a week in, 4 days, 5 days. It can turn into however much you do. You'll find that you're constantly improving. And I think, honestly, that is the most beautiful thing, and something that really is addicting and keeps you running. But if you're trying to start off and be an Olympian, you're going to be really disappointed, and that might make you quit. So you have to set realistic goals for yourself and compete with yourself to achieve those and beat them. So step 3, this is where it gets kind of interesting. I've kind of not obeyed part of this step to a certain extent, but hey, that's why I'm here, to talk to you guys and tell you about how you can be better than me. And step 3 is build your base. So a quote here that I love, I saw it a couple months ago when I really, quarantine started and I was really looking into taking my running up to another level, is you can't rush recovery, but you can rush getting injured. And what do I mean by that exactly? You can do the best that you can, but once you're already injured, to recover, it just takes time. If you sprain your ankle, you just kind of have to wait. And however long that takes is how long it takes. But you can, I hear that thunder, okay. But you can rush getting injured. And what I mean by that in particular is, if you are just going out mindlessly running miles at 100% effort every single day, you're not taking days off, you're not stretching properly, using the right nutrition, hydrating, it's a matter of time. I mean, maybe you've done that and you've never gotten hurt, and that's incredible. And if that's you, you probably shouldn't be watching this, right? But for most people, if you just go too hard, too fast, you're going to get injured, and it's not going to be a good time. So a rule of thumb kind of for running would be the 10% rule. And the 10% rule basically states that whatever your base mileage was for, let's say, last week, you would only add 10% more to that the following week. So essentially what you're doing is, if you ran 10 miles, you'll add 1. So you'll go to 11 miles in the same amount of time, 7 days. And what that does is it gives you a really progressive way to add up your miles and just improve your distance without getting hurt, and allow your body time to adjust, in your muscles, your joints, your tendons, everything. And the reason I say I kind of didn't follow that was, when we first started quarantining, I went from running probably 15 miles a week, I'd say, up to running about 40 within the span of 2 weeks. I just really was enjoying getting out there, being free, not being cooped up in the apartment all day while I lived in New York City. And what happened? After a month, I ran about 120 miles in a month, which was the most I'd ever done. And I immediately got Achilles tendonitis, which was not fun. It kind of took me out of running for a good 2 weeks, where I was really just kind of rehabbing and doing, eccentric stretches and things like that to strengthen those muscles back again. So if you don't want to be like me, you want to avoid downtime and just be able to enjoy your newfound hobby, what can you do? Only add 10% per week. The next thing here is, before we leave build your base, I would also say, if you've never run before, right? So me, I had a running background, but I just wasn't running as much as I could, not maximizing my potential. If you've never run before, maybe start off mixing walking and running. No big deal. I walk and run all the time. As a matter of fact, this morning I went on a 10-mile run, and I had just done my PR 5K time on Wednesday for Global Running Day. My legs were feeling kind of heavy. I think I was a little bit dehydrated, to be quite honest. And at mile, I think it was 6.5, I said, you know what? I'm not doing this. I'm not going to suffer. I'm going to walk, because what the heck? I'm already out here. I am doing my best, but sometimes, it's your body is talking to you. It's telling you to take that break. So take it. And moving on, so number 4, I would say, is to invest in your body. And when I say invest in your body, I mean, don't skimp on nutrition. Make sure that you're eating that balanced diet. Get multivitamins if you need them. Don't aggressively lose weight while you're running. You don't want to be, unless that's your goal, and you maybe you've spoken to a doctor about this before, but you don't want to be dropping, 20 pounds in a really short period of time or something like that. That's a way to have some kind of reverse health effect. So I feel like making sure you're fueling up, getting enough calories so that you can kind of have like enough to fuel your muscles and keep you going, making sure that you're drinking the right amount of water, getting those electrolytes, so having Gatorade or something like that, coconut water, after your runs to kind of refuel your body. Those kind of things will take you really far. And also, if you can only afford a nice pair of shoes, but you can't afford to have the tights that you want and the shirt that you want and all these other things, invest in the shoes. Trust me, you'll be much better with a Walmart t-shirt or a Target t-shirt and skipping Lululemon. Sorry, Lululemon, shout out to you guys are great, but you're better off investing in the thing that your feet are constantly taking that pounding, slapping on the ground, and your knees and everything. Like you should invest in a nice pair of shoes. And on the channel we'll get into some shoe reviews and talking about cheap versus more expensive shoes and things like that, but I can assure you, you're much better off investing in shoes if that's the only thing you can afford. And if not, hey, can't all be blessed to be rich or anything. I know I'm not. So, but if you can't afford everything, then shout out to you for sure. And lastly, and I guess this kind of ties in with point 1, but this is easily the most important point, is don't forget to have fun. When you go out there, make sure that you're smiling. Trust me, it makes you run faster. And make sure that you're just enjoying being outside, taking in that fresh air. I find that when I'm going out there and I'm looking forward to that run, I'm having fun doing it, not making it a grind and a chore. That's the times that I've stayed injury free, and it's just really uplifting. You're hitting the best times that you could possibly hit. So that's my advice. Top 5 steps, running through them again one more time. Why do you want to start running? Figuring out that purpose for why you want to run. 2, compete with yourself, not others. 3, building your base, and building your base intelligently in the right way, healthily. 4, invest in your body. And 5, don't forget to have fun. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. And I'll link my Strava and my Instagram down below so you can follow all my runs and kind of see, how I'm progressing as an athlete, and also see any content that you might want to see also outside of YouTube on Instagram. Thank you so much, and have a blessed day.